Season 2 of Interesting Grenadians is brought to you through the kind compliments of ACB Grenada Bank, Simply Smarter Banking, Ecart Grenada, we deliver all your daily needs, Gittens Pharmacare, the pharmacy that cares, and Hideaway Waterfront Apartments in Grenadians, for you to relax and enjoy time away from the buzz.
A piece of the rock? What's your motivation? What's your freedom? The freedom of security. Whatever motivates you, there's never been a better time to own a piece of the rock. With ACB Grenada Bank at your side, get 0% down or 100% financing and up to 25 years to repay. Apply today. Call or visit us at acbonline.com to take advantage of this great offer. ACB Grenada Bank. Simply smarter banking.
Here at Gittens Pharmacare, we've served you for generations and have learnt, though your needs are varied, no matter the size of your families, your time is important.
Hey, breakfast is ready.
With this in mind, we give you ecartgrenada.com. Select from a variety of household goods, health and wellness products,
E-card delivery,
and general merchandise. All available on our website to be delivered to your door. ecartgrenada.com. We deliver all your daily needs.
Greetings, viewers and listeners, and welcome to another edition of Interesting Grenadians. Today, I have got another interesting Grenadian to present to you. His name is Mr. Dexter Johnson. Dexter, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Eugene. Glad to be here. I appreciate the opportunity.
Dexter, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background.
Well, I currently live in the U.S., in Arizona, northern Scottsdale. My wonderful wife, Anne, and a little dog, Henry. But obviously, you know my broader family in Grenada, starting with my grandma, Eileen Alexis, who's just turned 102, so she's doing great. And of course, my mom, Franca Bernadine, and my dad, Dexter Johnson, who lives in the Bahamas. But my mom's obviously in Grenada, and then I have 3 sisters and 1 brother. That sort of rounds out my immediate family and numerous cousins and aunts and uncles throughout the Caribbean. So right now in the U.S., I've been here since about, I think, early 2000s. And prior to that, I was in England for many years. But most of my childhood, I grew up in the Caribbean, most of it in Grenada, a little bit in the Bahamas, and a little bit in Barbados.
Tell us about that, about growing up in Grenada. What was that like for you?
Well, it was a great childhood. I have many good friends. You know what I'd say, just enjoying being young and, you know, out and roaming the streets, playing, you know, making slingshots and you know, slingshotting lizards. But probably a lot of fun also with team activities, team sports. So important part for me growing up was playing basketball, played on the Carnage with that team, and then also at PBC. And really the sort of just happiness playing with others, working with others, that's been a common thread throughout my life. But great foundation, very safe environment, a lot of good values that I learned in Grenada as a child and took throughout my life. And then also just the freedom to learn. I have a great learning environment, life lessons, learning, but also obviously school, and just learning how to interact with people, how to be adaptive and versatile. And of course, have fun. I would say you never forget wherever you are. I think in the Caribbean, we like to have fun. We're a happy people. And, you know, that was, for me, my childhood was a happy childhood. And you didn't need a lot of stuff, didn't need a lot of material items. It was friends, family, and, you know, being there with people.
And take us through your educational institutions now. You went to PBC? Did you go to primary school here as well?
I was at primary school for a while in Westmoreland, and then I went to the Bahamas and did more sort of primary, early secondary school there. Then I came back to Grenada and was at PBC for Form 4 and Form 5, so finished my CX there. And then after that, I went to National College for a couple of years. So that then transitioned into about a year teaching at PBC before I went off to university. And from there, university was two places, Southampton in the southern part of England. That's where I did my bachelor's in aerospace engineering. And then at Cambridge, which is a little bit northeast of London. And that's where I did my PhD in the same area, aerospace engineering. So that kind of got me through all of my primary school through to tertiary and more than enough education to last me a lifetime.
So you don't currently work directly in aerospace engineering anymore. You're more of a business, more into business now. Tell us about that journey.
Sure. Thanks for that. I think, going through university, one of the things that I had wanted to do was to step up how I performed professionally. And not just in the work that you do, but in some of the other things I did. I played sports, football and basketball. I was also involved in setting up within our functional area, a sort of a group that then helped to drive and advance some of the research and the other things we were doing, including physical space. So you think of engineering, you're in labs. What can you do to modernize the lab, modernize the equipment? And saying all of that to say that I felt that there was a lot more to offer than just the pure technical aspects of what I could do professionally. And so when I finished my PhD, there were really three options I could have gone down. One path was to stay in sort of an academia environment, become a professor, and that was very attractive, great path. But I felt would certainly lead me down one very focused track around research and engineering. Then you could go into industry and focus on engineering within industry. So I explored that path as well. And then the business path for me allowed me to sort of broaden my impact. And really what matters in business was my problem solving, my leadership, my adaptability, my critical thinking. Those were skills that were highly sought after and could be very effective in a business environment. And that was sort of agnostic to the industry. So think you could apply those same thinkings and principles in engineering to pharmaceuticals, to retail sales, to nonprofits. And so for me, it was much more appealing to take that skill set and apply it more broadly. It was also more financially lucrative as well. But, for me, it was more about having the variety of things you could work on. Just because you may have studied engineering or sciences doesn't mean you have to stay there. Or interested in, humanities or law or nonprofits or other things. I didn't want to be pigeonholed into a functional area. So I went the route of business that really gave me the opportunity to have a much broader impact and work in many industries.
Yes, fully understand. By any chance, do you know, I actually interviewed Grenada's first female aerospace engineer on this program. Her name is Dr. Lisselle Joseph. She lives out in Massachusetts. And I also understand that Terry Forrester, son, was also an aerospace engineer like you also. I don't know if do you know either of those people?
Sadly, Eugene, I do not.
Okay.
I know a few Grenadians in different places. Actually, some of them ex-students of mine from PBC, but those two I don't know, although I probably should. It's a small community, and certainly shame on me. I should probably know.
No. Well, talking about PBC, what was your PBC days like?
Oh, I loved PBC.
What was your best, sort of the best memory of PBC?
Oh boy, probably, unfortunately, the best memory was being up on the hill and looking down at the convent girls at lunch or at break.
Of course.
That was probably the number one, honestly. But I'd say basketball was probably the other, playing out on the court with the wire fence around and, playing obviously the games against Wesley College and GBSS and the whole, that was fun.
It sounds like you believe a lot in team sports. How does that, especially today, working in teams, how important is that in today's business world?
Oh, it's critical. I think most of the way that we execute is in a team, whether it's a small team of 3 or 4, a team of bigger teams, 20, 50 or more. And your ability to sort of lead a team, but also to be a good team member if you're not the lead, really critical. I think it's for a reason. What we know is that if we bring in a diverse group of people with different thoughts, different experiences, that really can help you deliver a much stronger end product, and regardless of what you're doing. And so the concept of bringing in the team and pooling people together is not a new one, but it's really important in the current environment, particularly with all of the change that goes on. One of the things I always remember from being part of a team, you're obviously facing adversity, you're facing challenges. Sports is a good example. You have to become adaptable to your environment. And that's very much where we are today, whether you're talking about a pandemic hitting or a war or a particular slump, or right now a lot of challenges in talent and people are changing jobs, and you have to be able to be versatile. Well, one individual is not as strong as a team. And so whether it's problem solving or being resilient emotionally, being strong psychologically, being there for each other, the team construct is critical. And frankly, no different than the teams I was on in my formative years, whether it's emotional support, winning the game, having specific roles, stepping up for the team when you need them, being a leader, being a follower. The team is central to everything I do, and probably the most central thing to my success today.
Also, you also mentioned earlier about good values, growing up in the Caribbean, growing up in Bahamas, growing up in Barbados, in Grenada. You got a good basis, a good set of values. Could you speak a little bit more to that?
Absolutely. Really important, I think, in general in life, and also certainly in business as well, integrity. So things like honesty, things like following through on what you're saying and doing that. But I'd say the main thing being around just having integrity, and really important, when the light isn't on you, when maybe no one's recording you, are you going to behave in the way that we would expect? With dignity, with honesty. Those things matter, and they come back to catch you if you're the kind of person that's unscrupulous or cuts corners or treats people poorly, especially in this day and age of the megaphone and the video camera essentially recording everything, amplifying it. But even when the lights aren't on, right, that's the key, is how well do you stand from, and I'm not perfect, certainly have made mistakes, but I think the core in the Caribbean, you kind of know what your parents taught you to do, and you think of that in the back of your mind, and would this be the right thing to do? Or maybe it's your pastor or your priest, or you those are some of the formative things. And of course the community, what does the community think is acceptable behavior? That matters, and that sort of forms that core set of values by which you operate, and people can see that, and they see it whether it's like I said, in the dark or out in the open, and you want to always be guided by that. We're not trying to win by seeing others struggle, and of course you have to care for your fellow man. You're one part of a broader community. You shouldn't think you're that important. I mean, it doesn't matter where you are. You could be the biggest boss or the person who is in the trenches. And frankly, the one in the trenches is more important than the boss. And so you have to remember that the community is important. Everybody has a role, and all trying to work together. It goes back to the teamwork as well. That's at least part of my view of success. It's not individual. It's about the team, the group. But a lot of that came from values that I got to being part of a community in the Caribbean. That's what we are.
And I guess that would also be a message to young people trying to get it.
Absolutely. I mean, there's certainly some things that can really help you that you learn. I mean, if I were to think of things I learned specifically in Grenada, certainly teamwork, the importance of being part of a team and working with others is a big one. Another one was sort of adaptability. You know, the Caribbean's a challenging place. You don't have all the goods. I can remember, look, if we need to make a slingshot, we got to find some Thai rubber. I mean, we're going fishing. We don't have fishing line and hook. You come up with a different way. So that versatility is really important. The values are critical because wherever you are, you should be standing by your word. You should try to be on time and timely, and you should also try to make sure that you're doing good. And I'd say invariably when you do good, it comes back, right? There's sort of that reciprocity. And it works the other way. If you're unscrupulous, it certainly will catch up with you. You'll have the wrong impact on people, and eventually it won't be good. But those are definitely some of the things I learned in the Caribbean that really carried through my entire life. And, you know, it's been great to have that foundation.
So you live in Arizona now. Do you know, are there many Grenadians in Arizona? What's it like living in Arizona?
Not many Grenadians, not that I've met here. Occasionally I run across one. It's a desert, but not the kind of desert you think like sand dunes or the Sahara. It's just a little drier, hotter, but it's actually quite green. But why the weather matters is because it's very dry. It's sunny all year round, and that's important to me. I don't live in the Caribbean anymore, but I do need some good warmth and sunshine. Need to be outdoors, exercising, hiking, running. It's a good environment, and the people are good. Arizona is a growing state. Phoenix and the Scottsdale area is a growing area, and people are welcoming. There are other parts of the country I've lived in the U.S. and people are generally good where you are, but certainly here where they're less materialistic, they're much more into who are you as a person. Let's get to know you, not what you do or your house or what you drive. And unfortunately, there are other parts of the country where that's a little bit prevalent. And of course, it's not a diverse area where I currently am, but Phoenix is a pretty diverse area, and also that matters too, right? You want to see a lot of Black and brown people succeeding, and but also just the whole melting pot. So being near to a big city matters, and you're getting that diversity of people and expression and thought. So Phoenix has that as well. It's a pretty cool spot.
What industries are there down there?
Quite a lot. So it turns out, I think Phoenix has grown to become, I think, the 4th or 5th largest city, maybe somewhere around there in the country. A lot of what we would call service industry. So there's a lot of pharmaceutical companies. There's, I would say, a lot of support for other companies. So they do a lot of call centers or contact centers here, whether that's for financial services, education, medical industry, really big centers for that. So Phoenix in the area is generally known for a lot of call centers, but they also have other service industries as well. So I mentioned medical, pharmaceutical, education, nonprofits, obviously universities, those institutions. And then there's manufacturing. I didn't realize this coming here, but there's a lot of agriculture. Citrus is one of the biggest exports of Arizona, and also mining. So there's mining for copper and various other metals. So there are industries out here that are connected to that. No oil or any of those kind of things, but definitely unexpected to see that there was also heavy industry like that in the state.
Dexter,
and a lot of jobs.
A lot of jobs. Mm-hmm. Good to know. I see our time. I just got a little reminder. I see our time is quickly running out. But before it does, is there anything else that you would like to share with Grenadians that we haven't spoken about?
Absolutely. I think what I would share is that you can accomplish whatever you want in life with your foundation in Grenada, whether that's to stay in the Caribbean, stay in Grenada, and have a successful life and career. But it also is a very strong launching pad to the broader world. And it goes back to those core principles, whether it's your values, teamwork, resilience, adaptability. Those are very, very important skills. And certainly if you're looking at ways to expand your horizons and you end up traveling to other countries, know that you have a very strong foundation. You have a lot going for you. And I would say be humble is probably the other thing I would say. Be open to learning, open to feedback, open to getting better, right? We're not perfect in our personal and professional. So if you do choose to expand to the broader world, embrace the cultures that you go into, learn about them, allow yourself a chance to develop. You can still obviously be Grenadian and be Caribbean at your core, but you certainly can adapt and learn and get the benefit of others. And that's what I love to see. I love to see people who come from a more challenging background. You get into these more developed countries, you find opportunities where you really can shine. And then obviously that sets you up to perhaps help your family, help others back home. At the end of it all, Grenada is a strong foundation, and there are a lot of tangible and intangible skills you'll learn from being in an environment like ours. So, keep your head up and obviously, go forth and do good things. Do good by yourself. Do good. Be good to people.
Dexter, thanks a lot, man. And we will certainly try our best to keep our heads up. I think we're doing okay, and thank you for that. We appreciate it. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. I know we took a long time to get this done, but it's we have it now. So thank you so much for taking time out to be on Interesting Grenadians. Viewers and listeners, thanks for joining us for this episode. And again, please join us next week on GBN, same time, Wednesday at 8 o'clock, for another edition of Interesting Grenadians.
Season 2 of Interesting Grenadians was brought to you through the kind compliments of ACB Grenada Bank, Simply Smarter Banking, ECOT Grenada, we deliver all your daily needs, Gittens Pharmacare, the pharmacy that cares, and Hideaway Waterfront Apartments in Grenadians, for you to relax and enjoy time away from the buzz.
A piece of the rock? What's your motivation? What's your freedom? The freedom of security. Whatever motivates you, there's never been a better time to own a piece of the rock. With ACB Grenada Bank at your side, get 0% down or 100% financing and up to 25 years to repay. Apply today. Call or visit us at acbonline.com to take advantage of this great offer. ACB Grenada Bank. Simply smarter banking.
Grenada.com.
Here at Gittens Pharmacare, we've served you for generations and have learnt, though your needs are varied, no matter the size of your families, your time is important.
Hey, breakfast is ready.
With this in mind, we give you ecartgrenada.com. Select from a variety of household goods, health and wellness products,
ECOT delivery,
and general merchandise. All available on our website to be delivered to your door.